Hey guys, this is Shubham again and welcome to the last video lesson of this Call Log Tracker app tutorial series. But let me first congratulate all of you guys for the historical moment of the inauguration of Sri Ram's temple in Ayodhya. We have waited for this moment for about 500 years. Now it is going to be true. I'm so happy now. I hope you all are feeling the same. So let's get back to our topic now. In the previous video, we have learned to hide our app and open the app by dialing a specific number from the dialer pad. If you haven't watched that video, then the link is appearing at the top right corner of your screen. So click on that and check out the video. I've also given the link of all the videos of this tutorial in the description below. You can go through the previous videos from there also. In this video, we will see how we can set up a background activity to send the data of on an interval to our Firebase database. For that, we will be using periodic work request. We have other options also to achieve this, like we can create a background service which will run continuously in the background, and from that we can send the data to our server. But nowadays, to improve the performance of the device and the performance of the RAM, Android operating system forcefully kills the background service after running it about 10 to 15 minutes. So to again run the background service, we have to again open the app, but we don't want that, so we are using the periodic work request. So the advantage of this periodic work request is that it doesn't run continuously in the background, so the battery of your device will not get affected, and the minimum interval you can set is 15 minutes. So you can set the interval to send the data to the server like 15 minutes or greater. At every interval, this periodic work request will execute even if the app is not running in foreground or in the background. So let's see how we can implement that, and let's get into the video without wasting any time. So here we are in our project. So the first thing we will do to use the periodic work request is we will have to add the dependency for that. So I've already written my codes and pushed it in the GitHub repository. So I will just copy from here. So these lines you have to put inside the dependencies so that you can use the work request, the periodic work request, and after that just click on sync now to sync this dependency in our project. So as you can see, the dependencies are synced successfully. Now we will close this tab and we will create a new class. So this class will be called on a particular interval which we will set in this main activity. So suppose if we set an interval of 15 minutes, then it will call that class every 15 minutes. So let's create a class called send data worker. Okay, and this class will extends worker class. Okay, and it is asking us to implement some methods, so just click on implement methods. So it will implement a method called do work. Okay, and the return type is result, and still we have an error. So it is asking us to create a constructor, matching constructor. So we will create a matching constructor. So now the error is gone. So this class send data worker will be called on every interval which we will define in our main activity or any activity which will start on starting the app. So once the periodic work request is triggered, then whenever the specific time interval comes, it will execute this class, and inside this class this method do work will be executed. So inside this method, the codes which we will write, that codes will execute on every interval of the specified time. Let's complete this class then. I've already written the codes, so I will just copy from here and paste it inside our class. So inside the class I will paste these strings. So these strings are nothing but the strings in which we will store the fetched data for our call logs. And this tag is a constant which we are getting by calling this function get simple name. So it will take this the simple name of this class, then data worker, and we are just taking this tag as to see the logs, so whether this class will be called or not. After that, we will fetch the data and loads this data to the Firebase database. So we will write that code inside our class. So we will copy the send data method from here and we will paste it inside this class. Okay, I will quickly import all the classes first. So I've imported all the classes. So inside this send data method, we are just fetching the call logs and storing it in the strings. So I've already explained everything which I have written here, and these are also I have written in the main activity, and I have already explained everything in details in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that video, then please go to the description below, and you can click on the link which is currently appearing at the top right corner of your screen to go to that video. So check out that video and then you will understand these codes of send data method. So inside this send data method, we are just fetching the call logs and we are sending the data to the server. So this duration format method and this send data method, send data to server method, I have already explained in detail in the previous video. So I will not explain these things here. So please refer to the previous video for the explanation. I have to add this method also. So I will quickly copy this send data to server method. Okay. Get device name. This method also I have already explained you guys. So this get device name will just return us the device name which is having the manufacturer name and the model name of the device. To create a separate node for every device in the Firebase database. This capitalize is nothing but to capitalize the letters of the device name which we are fetching from manufacturer and model. So and the duration format, it just changing the format of the duration of the call log. If the duration is greater than 60 seconds, then it will change the format as minute and second, and if it is less than 60, then it will just show as second. So we have added all these functions and we have already added the function to send the data to server, and so all the functions are defined here. Now we will just have to add our function inside this do work method. Until we add this functions inside this do work method, this class will not be useful, because we need to call this send data method at every interval of time. Okay, so we need to add this function, we need to call this function inside do work. So I will copy the codes from here. I will paste it inside. So what we are doing is we are just taking the context by calling get application context, and we are just logging the data. So to check whether this method is called or not when we open the app for the first time. So if this class will be called, then this message will be appearing in the logcat of our device. So we will check that later. And in the try catch block, we are just calling the send data, which we have already defined here. And in the catch block, if we have any issue with the code or any constraint which is not satisfied, then this catch method will be called for the retry of this method. So if it failed, then it will again retry for to execute this function. And at last we are just returning the result.success. So that's all for this class. Now we will set up our periodic work request in the main activity. So as we have only one activity in our app, so once our app is open, the main activity.java class is called, and inside this the first function which is called is the onCreate. So inside onCreate method we will call we will set up our periodic work request. So for that we will first create a function. So we will create a simple function to initialize our periodic work request. So I've already written the code here. I will just copy it and paste it, and I will explain you what is going on. So we have created this function and named it as setting up periodic work. I'll quickly import all these classes first. So inside this function, what I have done is I've just created a constraint. I've initialized constant and build it and set up some constraint like set required network type, and inside this we are passing network type dot connected. This means that if the device is connected to internet, means the network is connected, then only we will execute this periodic work. So suppose if your internet connection is not available, then it will not send the data to the server after every 15 minutes, so it will fail. And the second constraint is set required battery not low. So suppose if your battery is low, or then it will not run. So we have set is true. So if battery is not low, only then the periodic work request will be executed. And the third one is the set requires storage not low. So the storage memory, if the memory is low, if the RAM memory is low, then it will not be called. And these three constraints we have added and build the constraint. So the next step, we are initializing our periodic work request. So we are just using this keyword periodic work request and creating an object of periodic work request dot builder, and inside this we are passing few parameters. The first parameter is the class, is the worker class which we have created, the set data worker dot java. So whenever this will be executed, this will be triggered, then every interval of time which we have set in this periodic send data work, so at every interval of time this send data worker dot class will be called. So the second parameter is the interval time. So 15 is the time, and the third parameter is the unit of the time. Currently I have set the unit of time as minute. So if you want on hourly basis, then you can change it to hours or even days. Okay, so it means on every 15th days this will be called, this class will be called. So I will keep it as minutes for now. Now this class will be called at every 15 minutes of interval, and we can only use a minimum interval of 15 minutes as per the document provided by Google. So you can see the periodic work request, and here you can see the minimum interval duration for periodic work request in milliseconds is 900k. So 900k millisecond is nothing but the 900 seconds, and 900 seconds is 15 minutes. So the minimum interval you can use is 15 minutes. So you can use 15 or greater, it's up to you. So I have set 15 minutes of interval, and then I have just added the tag send data, and this is nothing but a constant string. So to check if this is called, so we will see this also later. So I have set this message sending data to server. So it will show us that this method is called, this our periodic work request is initialized and triggered. So to check that, we have added this tag, and then we have just written dot build. So our periodic work request instance is successfully created, defined. Now we have to just add it in the work manager. So we have just created a work manager instance and initialized it, and inside this we have include our periodic work request which we have created earlier. So that's all. We have just initialized our periodic work request. Now we will have to call this method. So where we have to call this method? Inside onCreate, because whenever you open the app for the first time, the onCreate method will be called of this main activity or .java class. So we have to call this method inside this onCreate method. Our periodic work request has been set up. Now, if you want, you can remove the send data to server method from this main activity, as if you call this setting up periodic work requests, so it will automatically send the data from this send data worker class, as you have already written the code to send the data to server in this class. So there is no need to add the send data to server in the main activity Java class. So you can disable this in the fetch call logs. You can see in the fetch call logs we have added the send data to server, so you can comment out this. So it is totally up to you. I will leave it as uncommented. So there is nothing difference if you comment out this. Anyway, the data is loaded into the server by using this send data worker.java class. So we have completed our code. Now we will just run it in our emulator. So first I will show you which data are currently present here. So I have 3 logs here in from my emulator. So I will show you from phone. As you can see, we have 3 call logs from 28th July, and these are appearing here. Now I will run this app, okay, and after that I will make some calls, and later I will see that after 15 minutes if those call logs were loaded into our Firebase database or not. Okay, so first thing I will run this app in our emulator. Okay, let's wait for our app to be installed. Okay, so our app is installed, and it is asking for permission. Allow. Okay, it's closed. I think there is some. Okay, in the log, as you can see, send data worker, sending data to server started. So this means our send data, whenever you open the activity for the first time, this send data worker is called, and this do work method is called because we have added the tag and the message sending data to server started. This is seen in our terminal. So as you can see, the sending data to server started. So this class is already called, and after that the worker result success for work. So and the tag, you are seeing that data sending data to server. So we have added this tag here in the main activity sending data to server, and we have just passed this tag in our periodic work request while building this instance of the periodic work request. So our app is correctly working now. As you can see, we have opened our app for the first time at about 2:58 because it already 1 minute late. So 1 2 3 4 hash. Okay, our app is loaded, and now we have 3 logs here, and if I refresh again 3 logs. Now I will close it, and I will make some calls, and we'll see after 15 minutes if those are reflected or not. Okay, I will call 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and I will receive a call from a particular number. Okay, now we will receive it. And we will cut it. So we have two new logs here. Okay, so we will see after 15 minutes that if it is reflected in our Firebase database or not. So let's wait for few minutes. So as of now, I think 3 minutes already elapsed. So just wait for 10 or 12 minutes also. So as you can see, we have a new node created with today's date 6 August 2020. So inside this we will have two call logs which we have added here, as you can see. So if we open these logs, you can see we have outgoing call 123456. As you can see, 1412345 it's outgoing call, and one call which is incoming with the number this. So we have once we have opened our app for the first time, it triggered the periodic work request, and then we have set our interval to 15 minutes. So on at every 15 minutes, this method will call and send data to server by fetching all the call logs from here. So it doesn't see whether the app is running in background or in foreground. So it will execute anyhow these methods to send the data to server at the set interval. So that's how it is working. And one more thing I want to mention here, that if, as you can see, currently my app is not running, so it is disabled. So the main activity we have while sending the app to the background, we are just making our main activity status as disabled. As you can see here in the on pause method, we have set the main activity state to disable. So if you run the app again, if the app is not running in the foreground, you will get an error. So error that this activity does not exist, this main activity does not exist. So to encounter this error, you just have to uninstall the app, okay, and then reinstall. So there is this is the first option. So just uninstall the app from settings and apps. So uninstall from here, or the second option, you can disable this function. So if you disable this function while sending the app to the background, this will not disable the state of main activity. So if you again rerun the app from the Android Studio, then it will find the main activity, then it will run your app again. If this code is still there, and if you run the app, rerun the app, then you will get this error because you have uh, s- disabled the state of the main activity. So either you can rerun the app by uninstalling the app first, or you can disable these codes from here. So I recommend to first uninstall the app and then install the app, so that you will not get this type of error. So that's all for this video and for this tutorial, guys. If you really like this video, then please hit the like button, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will get the notifications of my latest videos. If you face any issue with the codes or the explanation from the video, and you have any kind of doubt, please feel free to add your comments in the comment section below. And you can also connect with me through social media platforms. The link is given in the description, so you can directly ping me if you have any kind of questions. So I will try my best to answer you all. And for the codes, you can check out my GitHub repository. I have given the link in the description, so you can go to that link and check out the codes. And if you found any kind of issue with the codes, please let me know. So see you in the another tutorial, guys. Till then, take care.